Hi there, Robin here from Expert On. Today we're going to be talking about Behringer mixers, which in this particular case today is going to be about the Q502. That's their 5-channel USB mixer. We've got one set up right here on the actual table, and yeah, so let's do a little unboxing. That's what it would look like in the box. That's what it looks like when you take it out of the box. So, that being said, what are we talking about? We are talking about a 5-channel mixer. Now, these are really popular online, and it has to do with one very important feature. This is what I'm really thinking is about. Built-in a compressor right in the actual unit. So, just to get a good view, a built-in compressor right there. So, that makes it a little bit more professional than the regular ones. Now, a lot of them have effects on them. Don't get me wrong, that's a neat feature to have. Compressor costs more than effects. So to flip it around and say, well, we're going to put that on instead, says that this is more of a mixer for a musician or somebody, let's say, doing a podcast, that sort of thing. If you're looking for a mixer to get going at home, especially for home use, if you're practicing, if you've just got some work that you want to get done as a musician, and you just want to have something easy to plug into, fast, simple, this is a great way to go. I like it because it has USB. It makes it more diverse as a product goes, so you can have it as a versatile use. It's not just a one piece, I'm only going to have analog connections to it, and that's it, that's all. So you got 2 channels to your computer, 2 channels from your computer. It mirrors the actual, if we go up to here and go on the side, the track in and out options on it. That's mirrored off the USB. So that makes it pretty straightforward and easy to use. So that's what's going on with a unit like this. So if we cover the features on it, we'll bring it up, get a full-on look at it here. What we've done right now is, just so you know, we do have a condenser microphone that we have on the table plugged in up here. Then you can also, that's on the XLR, you can also plug a regular line input through the 1/4 inch. It's a balance or unbalance option to it. That follows in line with all these knobs right below it. One is our gain settings. Then we've got our high-low, as they like to call the European EQ, which is basically knobs instead of sliders. And then we have a pan and tilt, a balance control. So in this case, because it's hooked up to the mic, it's a pan setting for the mic line. At the bottom, you have level with top being unity, and then you have all the way up to the top, down to the bottom. The next 2 are for the next 2 sets of pairs on top. We've got 1/4 inch, balance or unbalanced, left and right series, and then another left and right. So we've got 2, 3 here, and then we've got 4 or 5 next to it, and that's going to line up these 2 knobs here. So we basically now, because this is just a standard line input in pairs, we're going to have a balance to the left and right here. Then we're going to have the ability to control the level on it. Then we're going to repeat the same. We've got a balance setting here, and then we've got our level control just below it. Then we move over to the next knob. That's our compressor. So we'll talk a little bit more in detail, but we'll just cover, we've got a compressor here, and then we've got phantom power just below it. So we'll come back to this in a second in the demo. And phantom power again if we need power to go. Now that's, again, we'll talk a little more about that, but then we move down to the next 2 buttons. Now these are pretty straightforward. We've got 2 phono and a 2 main mix. That's what those buttons are. But underneath it's written USB/2 track. So what do we want to do with either our USB or our RCA inputs? Which do we want to run it to the headphones, or do we want to run it to the mains? And we have choices to turn that port on or off. And that means that we're going to hear it just on here. So if you're using it as backtrack, maybe you just want to hear it playing in your headphones so you can play on again and do another recording out. So that would be an option that you might want to use those buttons for in conjunction with wearing a set of headphones and then recording another track onto your computer. Main output, you don't hear anything on the headphones unless you turn up the main outputs, or if you have the main outputs hooked up to some speakers, including monitors. So that's all the knobs on top. These 2 that are plugged in, that's our main out. And then right beside it is our headphone jack. This being a small unit, that's everything. That's plugs, buttons, all built in. The USB is located right on the back side, including the power supply. So there we go. That's what's going on there. So now if we want to do a little demonstration of it. So right now we've been listening to my lavalier. I'm going to bring this over. I have taken these 2 lines and plugged it into the mixing board that is hooked up to the camera you guys are listening to. So I'm just going to put this on for a second. I'm going to turn off There we go. So I've turned off my body pack and I've brought this up. I've set this up onto the second mixer at Unity, so we're all set. So now all I have to do is, well, talk into my Marantz Professional MPM 2000, and you're hearing everything coming straight off of here, right through there. Now, at the same time, this is where the compressor comes into play. So the compressor basically, no compression at all. It kind of just softens up, gives it just that standard roll that you're going to get if you're just running off of your gains and on your main. Now, as you use more and more compression, what happens is it tries to keep the sound within check. So anything that's too soft, it brings up. Anything that's too loud, it brings down. So this way, you still hear if somebody's whispering in a song, let's say, or whispering on a podcast, it still comes off the same volume-wise. And then if they speak up, the idea is to actually still give the full feeling like somebody's screaming without actually putting the volume at that level. Again, trying to keep everything in check. This is how we listen to things. So that's why people like to get the compressor. So the more you put in, the more action it's going to have on the sound. Now, it doesn't actually change the sound per se. Think of it like a balloon with air in it. If I take the balloon and inflate it to 6 inches, or I inflate it to 10 inches, it's the same balloon. It's just a different size. So if I want to keep everything even and steady across all of the balloons that I've inflated, it'll keep it at just in the middle. And hold it there. So it still has all the details, all the full rich sound, just that we've taken away that big heavy drop in volume at the bottom, or that big yelling screaming sound of a high dB scream. That's what's going on there. So that's everything for this. Now, outside of that, it's a Behringer, so price-wise, it's very economical. They tend to give you a ton of features or performance for the money. This one's extremely popular, and like I said, I believe it's because the compressor, you're not normally going to see that happen. Now, this is the 502. So out of their entire line of product, the Q series, the 502 runs with 15-volt phantom power, which, to be honest, isn't causing any problems on this microphone. All the other models, starting at the 802 and larger, all have up to 48 volts of power coming off of it. So that's the difference when it comes to the phantom power, and that's what's there. If I don't have phantom power, I'll turn this down, and we'll have a quiet demonstration. So if I turn the phantom power off, you'll get a bit of a swoosh sound, and then there'll be no power on the actual microphone, and the microphone will stop working. So just like that. There you go, phantom power back on. So not everything requires phantom power, but if you have any condenser style microphone, it will require power. Now, some condenser style microphones do have batteries built in line to make it work, or if it's a USB, but that's a different story, and that's a different video for another day. So there we go. That pretty much covers everything. Remember, your phono jack and main out jack are connected together in a set where if I turn down the main, that's going to turn down the volume as well as on the headphones. So I can turn down the headphones, no effect on anything there. But if I turn down the main out, that's going to proportionally affect the headphone volume. So if that's important to you, that's something you want to note. Same thing. If I turn on the 2 phono, it cuts off everything on the mixer going to the actual headphones. So that's what the 2 phono button is. When you press that button, it shuts everything else off and just gives you what's going on the USB or on the 2-track input off to the side. So there you go. Remember, the nice thing also about Behringer is if you buy it from an authorized reseller, you're going to get an option for a 3-year warranty, which basically means you have to go on their website, as the box likes to say. I'm going to take this off. And you're going to go on their website, register your product, and you'll be all set. So we can turn this down now, and there we go. So here we are back on the lapel. Go to their website, register the products as per the instructions. You will get a 3-year warranty, which is 3 times more than the average warranty out there. So there you go. Easy to use, straightforward. Like I said, very, very popular. If you're looking for a mixer for home, maybe you have a single podcast and you don't need any more than 1 microphone hooked up for that podcast, there you go. I'm going to say that's another big reason why it's super popular. So again, if you're looking to get a nice microphone and you need to hook it up to a mixer that's going to do a good job, especially for podcasting or for playing at home with any of your instruments, they give you a ton of different variations on their website for hooking up your guitars and all your keyboards, your electric drums, or maybe you have a mic interface, anything like that. You go ahead and do it with this. Now remember, there's no high Z, so you can't plug your guitar directly into it. You're going to have a DI box or some sort of, interface to do that. But outside of that, if you do want effects, it's not an option on here because we don't have a send return option. You'll have to buy up into, let's say, the 802. So, but outside of that, if you're looking for a small professional home use, I need something just to practice with, or this is going to be my, startup podcast, and I need something that I can, connect all my equipment to, this would be great to do the job. This is going to plug right into whatever you want. Just make sure you get the appropriate cables and you'll be all set. Well, there you go. That's it for today on this video. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you've subscribed, thank you very much. If you haven't, please do. Always like having new subscribers. And if you like it, give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that bell if you want to find out when the next videos are. See you on the next video. Bye for now.